So since Hu Tao's release, there's been a lot of speculation on what artifact sets are the best for her, especially for free-to-play players or players who just don't feel like spending a whole bunch of money on resin. But just artifacts in general on what her best sets and what her best stats are for making her such a reliable DPS and a consistent DPS. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you her complete updated build, how much I've been building her since I've gotten her or since her release. So I really hope you guys do enjoy this video, and let's go ahead and get right into the build. Alright, so a lot of people are actually excited for me to release this build, and I'm pretty excited too. It's been a while since I've uploaded, and I'm glad to be back. So, starting off, she has about 36k HP, which is pretty good. 40k would probably be the best, maybe 45. 36 is average. Her attack is 1500, which of course that's going to go way up because her attack's going to get a big boost whenever you pop her E, which is basically the only time you're going to be using her. Defense doesn't really matter. Her elemental mastery is 21. It's down from last video because I switched to a new set, which I'll show you here in a minute. So we have 59% crit rate and 225% crit damage, 105% energy recharge with a 61.6% pyro damage bonus. Now that will go up because of the set that I'm using, the Crimson Witch, which you guys will see here in a minute. So, taking a look at her weapon, we have Staff of Homa. This is basic knowledge at this point. This weapon was literally released with Hu Tao, so this is her weapon. Not only does it give you a huge boost to your crit damage, and it has a high base attack, but also increases your HP, which is a really big deal. It also provides an attack bonus based on 0.8% of the wielder's max HP. This will go up the more refinements that you get for this. So the more weapons you get, the more you can refine it, and the more these blue numbers will go up. So this is by far her best weapon. If not, you could always use the Jade Spear if you want. Dragon's Bane if you're free to play. If you really need to, you can use the Prototype Star Glitter if you're completely free to play and you need a craftable weapon right now. Now for artifacts, I'm going with the 4-piece Crimson Witch of Flames bonus. So this one we got some crit rate, crit damage. That's kind of an average flower. This one's always going to be HP, and this one's always going to be attack. So there's not really much you can do besides the substats. This one I got some HP side stats and some crit rate. HP for the sands, you really want to try to get HP. If you really can't get HP, you can always use an attack one. But definitely try to get an HP and try to level it if you can. Tablet, obviously you're gonna want to go with the pyro damage bonus because she's gonna be dealing a lot of pyro damage. I happen to roll more HP on this and a little bit of elemental mastery, but that's not that is pretty important on her, but it's not as important as the 4-piece set. That's why I swapped from the Wanderer's Troop to the Crimson Witch of Flame. So for the last one, I really advise you go with crit rate, unless you're using the Jade Spear or your crit rate or your crit damage is just really low. Then go for crit damage, but I went for crit rate here because I'm using the Staff of Homa, and so I'm using the crit rate with the crit damage substat with some HP. For her constellation, I do have her C1. I got really lucky. She's broken either way, but with C1 you're just going to be doing a lot more charge attacks, and it's just overall a lot more damage. But you don't really need a full constellation. You don't even need a first constellation. I only got that because I was super lucky. For her talents, get these two up first. Now, obviously, try to even them all out. So I got them all level 8, but then I'm going these two to level 9, and then this one level 9 last. So this one, obviously, because you're going to be normal attacking a lot and charge attacking with her if you have C1. And then this one, obviously, it's going to increase her her damage just overall. Every time that you level this up, it's going to scale with her max HP. So it's going to take more percentage of your max HP, which is what you want because your damage is going to go up overall. With Spirit Soother, this is going to upgrade the skill damage, the low HP damage, because the lower your HP is, obviously the higher damage is going to be because of Hu Tao. And you're going to want to keep her below 50% HP so you can get that extra pyro damage bonus, which I'll show you here in a minute. Skill HP generation, so obviously this will regenerate your HP, low HP skill generation. There you go. So the lower your HP is, the more she's going to heal herself and the more damage she's going to deal overall. So that's about all for her builds. I'm going to show you guys her party setup and tell you exactly why I'm using what I'm using. So we're using Hu Tao, Xingqiu, Venti, and Bennett. Now, Hu Tao and Xingqiu, he is absolutely the best support for her just because of how frequently he can apply the water effects or the hydro effects. and they're going to be vaporizing left and right, which is going to deal 1.5 times the damage that she would normally deal. We have Venti just to CC everything. He's absolutely broken, and we're using Bennett. Now, I said this last video when I made my TAO build, but Bennett's pretty controversial. But the reason why I'm using him is because I always find myself just hitting nothing with Xingqiu swords just to heal her up a little bit. So as long as you're not standing in it while you're attacking, you should be pretty good. And he can also heal up all your other teammates as well, rather than just relying on Xingqiu. You can use someone like Zhongli. I was using him for a while. I just don't have him really built properly, or at least not as much as Bennett, and I don't have as much constellations for him either. So that's why we're using Bennett here, and to give her the extra attack bonus and to overall just kind of be an extra healer, because Xingqiu is a kind of a healer, but not necessarily. It's not what he specializes at. Quick little side note, if you are using Xingqiu, make sure you are using the sacrificial sword, because he can E twice and give you a whole bunch of energy back, and he can almost have his Q up 100% of the time, which is crazy. So that's about it for the party setup. Now let me go ahead and get into a little damage showcase to the cryo flower, and let me show you guys how she performs inside of a battle. Now, if you're fighting anything, any kind of big monster besides, you know, little troops, little hilly trolls, then obviously you're not going to use Venti to really CC that much. But we're going to go ahead and get this reaction here, and we're going to get Xingqiu, and I just froze. And then now we're going to pop this, and we're going to pop Hu Tao's E. Now, as you guys can see how much damage she's doing on the screen, that was 49k off of a charge attack. The crits, even when she's not critting, she's still hitting a lot, but that was 49k off of one charge attack. I can show you guys her Q a little bit later, but yeah, so she's absolutely ridiculous. And as you can see, when these arrows are up around her, all these little arrows right here, that's what you want, because that means she's going to be having her attack boost or her pyro damage bonus. So as you remember before, it was like 61%, now it's up to 94%. So that's a huge pyro damage bonus that's really essential to hit like pretty high numbers with her. I really hope this gives you a little insight of how to really build Hu Tao. For artifact priorities, I would probably say you want to go for crit rate, or it depends on what weapon you're using. If you're using something like this with crit damage, you're going to want to get some crit rate on your artifacts and a little bit of crit damage. If this would be the Jade Spear, then you're going to want to go to crit damage first and then prioritize crit rate secondly. And then I would say then prioritize HP and then attack or elemental mastery. Those are kind of both important-ish. And then probably energy recharge last, because she doesn't necessarily need to have her Q up 100% of the time. But that's basically it for today's builds, and I should be showcasing Keqing hopefully tomorrow, another Keqing video, because I got a good 2-piece glad set on her that I think is working out pretty well. But let me know down in the comments section what video you want to see next, what character. Keep in mind, I don't have every character built, so I can't, you know, showcase Jean. I don't have her built properly right now. But out of all the characters, maybe leave a couple suggestions so I know who to showcase for you guys next. And yeah, make sure and like, subscribe, and comment, and dislike if you dislike. And that is going to be all for me in today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Suck me in slow, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you need.